WrestleZone presents Lost in the Midcard. Here are your hosts, Jeremy Bennett and Matt Black. Hi, guys. Welcome to the podcast where it's almost Summerfest, so get those milk and cookies ready for Jeremy Piven. It is Lost in the Midcard. Here we are. My God, it's already about the end of July. You know what that means? It's almost football season. Lost in the NFL Midcard coming back soon. Get ready for it. We got lots to talk about today. Some signings, some disappearings, some pay-per-views, some title changes, all sorts of stuff here. But first, I'd like to thank everybody in the chat right now. Uncle Howdy, before he goes to work tonight. Ozzy.
Oh, he's on his way to Raw.
Yeah, he's on his way to Green Bay, Wisconsin. What did you think of the segment with Bo Dallas last week there, Matt, by the way? While we talk about Uncle Howdy with Chad Gable.
Oh, no, I think they've been knocking the Y6 stuff out of the park.
Yeah.
I thought the Rowan segment was phenomenal, and the follow-up with the stuff in the ring was good. Looking forward to seeing what they do next.
Thank you, Ozzy, Santo, MK, Mark Cho. Thank you for joining us live in the
Lots
chat.
Of people in the chat tonight.
Yes,
appreciate you guys.
If you are lurking, feel free to join us in the chat at any time. Right now, there's one inch right there. Daryl Bullock is in the house. If you're watching, of course, we're no longer on Twitter, so hopefully people on Twitter are maybe watching this on demand or something on YouTube at some point. Join us on YouTube. Join us live. We may try to get the Twitter thing figured out down the line. But I don't know. It's stupid because Elon Musk is stupid. And Twitter is stupid. Maybe we'll get on Threads, but I mean, obviously Twitter's a lot bigger than Threads. So, I mean, join us on YouTube because that's the way you can guarantee to watch us live. Join in the chat and all that fun stuff. And to do that, search for WrestleZone, all one word, and hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, and also hit that live tab and give us some thumbs ups so that we can get this baby out to the universe and get an even bigger, wonderful family of in the chat, like to join all of you that are already here. I am your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JB Huskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime, is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
I'm here, man. I'm doing good as can be at the time being. Lots of stuff going on in the world of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm personally very excited this weekend for the Deadpool and Wolverine coming out.
Yeah.
And I will not be on social media very much this week because I guarantee there are going to be a lot of people that are purposely just going online trying to be jackasses over the next 4 or 5 days, purposely trying to spoil key things in that movie.
Do you have people that you follow on Twitter that will spoil it?
I don't think I have anybody that I follow personally, but I don't trust people to not retweet or quote retweet and like, I can't believe you spoiled that. Well, dumbass, by quote retweeting it, you're spoiling it for a whole new lineup of people. So
yeah, if Elon's being a dick about live streams on Twitter, why don't he also like add a spoiler alert into the algorithm, into the programming? You know,
hashtag spoiler would actually be really nice.
Shit.
And if it just like, kind of like blacks out the tweet and you can click it if you want, like they do for like sensitive content, for like images and videos and stuff, you have to click to approve to see it. It would be nice if they did something like that for, general spoilers for people who don't want to do it. Like I don't go out of my way to post wrestling spoilers on my timeline either, because I know that there's people out there that don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah.
So like I don't in general talk about spoilers until, they take place on the screen. Like I'll talk about contracts and free agency and stuff like that, but when it comes to like flat out like spoilers, you don't really see me talking about that online, because I don't want to upset the people that are following me if they don't want to know yet.
Yeah, and lately
it's common courtesy for your fellow man as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and lately I stay away from the rundown that Sean Ross Sapp puts out for Raw and SmackDown every week. Raw, sometimes we would go over it, but a lot of times that gets posted right as we're saying goodbye. So a lot of times I don't get to it till I'm watching Raw. And so if I haven't gotten to it on the show, I'm not going to read it. I don't want to know. I want to be surprised for the most part. And so I stay away from that for the most part. Movie spoilers, I don't really see much of. So I'm not going to be worried too much. I'm going to catch up on Deadpool this weekend or this Friday. Gonna hang out with a friend and watch the first one, maybe both. And then I'll probably go see the movie maybe Tuesday of next week, maybe a week after. I don't know. But again, I don't see spoilers for movies.
I wish you the best of luck, because I think this is the type of movie that people are going to go out of their way to try and spoil.
Yeah.
I really do. And I hate that, but I think that this is going to be one of those ones you're going to have a hard time avoiding it. I think compared to your typical average movie.
Yeah. Death Before Dishonor, as MK says in the chat, that is this weekend. I do not watch ROH.
This Friday, but there's only like 4 matches announced at this point.
Really?
So, and I think 3 of them are women's. I say like 3 of them are women's matches.
So Wikipedia has 7.
What?
Yeah.
For this Friday? Please tell me. Okay, maybe I've been living under a rock. I'm going to name off what I know, and then you tell me what else they have listed.
Okay.
You got Mark Briscoe and Roderick Strong for the Ring of Honor World Championship.
Yep.
You've got Athena and Queen Aminata for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship.
Yeah.
You have Billy Starks defending the Ring of Honor Women's World Television Championship against Red Velvet.
Yeah.
You have a Texas death match between Diamante and Layla Hirsch.
Yep.
What am I missing?
A 5-way match for the TV title between Atlantis Jr., Leo Rush, Shane Taylor, Johnny Television, and Kyle Fletcher.
Oh, that's interesting.
Pure Rules for the Pure title, Wheeler Yuta against Lee Moriarty. Ooh, that might be fun. And a trios match, Dustin Rhodes with the Von Erichs taking on the Dark Order.
That does not feel like a pay-per-view match to me.
No, it's kind of be cool.
That feels like a match we'd see on Rampage.
Yeah,
Tony, what are you doing, man?
It'd be cool to see Dustin with the Von Erichs, though. But yeah, you're right.
They put that pairing together on Collision on Saturday night.
I did not. So
I think they're going to be a trios team going forward.
Cool.
So I don't hate that at all. But I mean, those 3 guys against the Dark Order, that feels like something that would air on Rampage and not on something that's supposed to be a pay-per-view. I like that TV title 5-way though.
Yeah.
And I want anybody other than Kyle Fletcher to win.
I would put good money that Leo Rush is winning that.
I'd probably put it on Shane Taylor, but I would love to see I'd love to see Leo Rush win that title.
I wouldn't hate if they did put it on Johnny TV. I mean, that dude's been working for the company now for a little while. I wouldn't mind them putting a singles belt on him. I would not hate that either. So Johnny, I think Lee Moriarty might beat Wheeler for that, because
I feel like Atlantis Jr. is on borrowed time. He's not under contract with them. I don't think he's going to have a particularly long reign, so I expect him to drop it here. But I want it to be anybody but Fletcher. And I wish they would focus. They're claiming there's going to be more focus and attention on the Ring of Honor brand going forward. And if that's the case, one of the things I would really like them to do is, if you're a champion in Ring of Honor, I don't want to see you on AEW programming.
I know.
I want you to hold down the fort on Ring of Honor, and I want you to represent that brand. So whoever holds those titles coming out of Death Before Dishonor, I don't want to see them on AEW programming anymore until they drop the belts.
There is renewed hope that our ROH may be on television eventually.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
I wish it would, because I'm not subscribing, because it's worse than Dark almost half the time.
It is. It's
Dark,
AEW
yeah.
Dark with the Ring of Honor branding. They're claiming that's going to change. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and I'm hoping that the product improves over the course of the summer. But I'm not hopeful. Like, there's nothing that they've done this year beyond their pay-per-view events that have made me happy to be watching that product on a weekly basis.
Daryl in the chat, 1 inch versus 2 inch for the 3 inch title. I did not realize there was a 3 inch title, but
I don't even want to know.
I don't even know what I don't want to know what's on that title. Derek saying the Trios Championship is a curse. So, yeah, because basically they killed the tag division by taking out the tag division to make up the Trios division instead of actually organically growing trios. And so now the tag division's weak, and now it's even weaker.
They initially had plenty of both.
Yeah, well,
and now they have hardly of either.
And now they're going to let the machine guns go to WWE. So
that's the rumor. I'm telling you what, man. If Tony Khan gets outbid by WWE on the Motor City Machine Guns, he has no one to blame but himself to look in the mirror when the question is, why is the AEW Tag Team Division in 2024 not nearly as good as it was when we launched in 2019? It's his fault. It's his fault.
I'm baffled at WWE having interest in them because they're older guys. I'm a little baffled at that.
I would imagine they have interest in them because they know AEW has interest in them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I believe WWE just signs people because they know WWE has interest in them.
Yeah, and I could see Saban and Shelley both being agents down the line too, which could be a lot of value down the road as well. So, that wouldn't be too bad either.
Here's my one wish list for Triple H. It's very simple.
Yes, Matt.
If you sign the Guns, you have a damn good relationship with TNA right now. I don't want to hear no Death Rebel bullshit for the Motor City Machine Guns. Get their theme from TNA and license it out to use it on your programming. It's really just that. If you're going to go out and get them, at least do right by them and get their theme too.
And thankfully,
there's that. TNA wouldn't let them have it if they asked.
And thankfully, there's that relationship. So
that's what I'm saying. Don't screw Hunter. If you bring them in, don't screw the pooch. Treat them right. Well, honestly, one of the most decorated tag teams in professional wrestling history. If you get them, don't screw them up. Don't make them regret signing there.
Of course, that relationship continued with Wesley coming over with the Rascals, No Quarter Catch Crew being on the pay-per-view as well. So that we'll get into that in a little bit. But first, let's get into our main story, which, man, kicking off Wednesday. 1 hour, 59 minutes. Well, that's okay. That's the lead. Okay, we'll go. I thought the lead was MJF. A little surprising nugget came out of Fightful on yesterday, saying that Lashley's contract is up soon. They have not reached an agreement. He has been removed from their internal roster page, but still featured on the website. He has not been factored into any plans since this past spring. He's wrestled 5 matches this year, 1 at WrestleMania, but has basically fallen off the face of the earth. I thought he was hurt, but I guess not. And then, of course, comes on the heels that it appears that MVP and Tamina no longer with the company, letting their contracts possibly run out. Not as big of a shocker there because MVP and Tamina have not been on TV hardly at all. But Lashley is a big surprise, Matt, because he had really been a factor and a force in the main event scene and looked to come back and rise up through the ranks with the Street Profits and in that partnership and be a main event player again. What are your feelings as to I've heard there's tension with him and H. I think it's MVP and H, not Lashley. But what are your feelings with this? Do you feel Beatdown Clan reunion on AEW could be in the works? Do you think Lashley helps Joe and Hook and Shibata against the Learning Tree? MVP maybe coming along with him, or do they get this worked out? Because he was a top player in the game as of recent, so it's kind of a shock that they wouldn't have re-signed him. But there is, of course, he is over 40. So, what are your thoughts on that, Matt?
My basic understanding, from what I understand from people that I've spoken to, Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin want to get together and cause some havoc.
Woo!
Obviously, they can't be called the Hurt Business anymore because WWE owns that trademark. And I don't know if they're going to AEW. I don't know if they're going to TNA or
TNA.
They might not want to go to TNA due to what's going on with them in WWE right now. But
yeah,
I feel like those three are going to get together, and I think they're going to recreate some of that Hurt Business magic wherever they end up, whether it be AEW, New Japan, like wherever they decide to go. I think we're going to get some really good stuff out of that group, because I feel like they all have a gigantic chip on their shoulder right now, and they feel like they have something to prove. And I bet Cedric Alexander wishes he wasn't under a contract right now, because he would probably be right there with them.
Yeah, he's
because I would think if they had their way, they'd want the entire all four of those guys together. But you're gonna get 3 out of 4 ain't bad.
I would assume Impact doesn't have Beatdown Clan locked up, so
I don't know. Impact normally doesn't hold those trademarks from their talent. They used to, but they got rid of that after the whole Matt Hardy debacle. So I'm not sure what they'd want to be called, but
I like Mark Cho.
I feel like they're gonna do something special wherever they end up.
I like Mark Cho's suggestion because they just like Barney and How I Met Your Mother. They suit up. They are a business. I don't hate that name, honestly, Mark Cho.
Oh, speaking of something I don't hate.
That'd be meaty.
Speaking of something I don't hate.
MK in
the
chat
put
saying,
those three and Powerhouse Hobbs together. Put all the titles on them, dude. Put all the titles on them and let them run AEW for 6 months to a year.
That'd be wild.
I freaking love that suggestion, MK. Andy's saying the same thing.
Man,
yeah. Dude, I didn't even think of that, but now that's all I'm going to be able to think about. I want Powerhouse Hobbs with that group.
Power.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. It's great though, because you got 3 guys that are above 40, but a lot in the tank and something to prove. And we all know that Shelton
to me, age is just a number in pro wrestling. If you're good, you're good. I don't give a damn how old you are.
And we know that Lashley and Benjamin can still go. MVP not as much anymore with injuries and such, which is
but
fine.
MVP doesn't have to go. MVP just needs to be their mouthpiece and the figurehead of the group.
And he's good at that.
He can wrestle sparingly, if at all. I don't know if he wants to continue to wrestle, but I do believe that he wants to continue to be involved, in the industry, and he wants to do something with Hurt Business related with Lashley and Benjamin. I'm excited for what the future holds for that group. And man, if they freaking come in with Powerhouse Hobbs. When did Hobbs get hurt? How long ago was that?
Oh, it was around the time.
'Cause I know it happened at Daly's place.
It was shortly at. It was it the same match that he slammed Big Show?
No, I think it was the IWGP match against Moxley. So
Andy's saying April.
Relatively recent. Okay. I don't think he's going to be ready to be back anytime soon. But bringing him back into that faction would be instant push for him. I love that. I love that idea.
May 1st.
I need that too. I need Hurt Business versus Shane Taylor Promotions.
Yeah,
there's so many built-in great ideas that they could do, and that's when Shane Taylor Promotions brings in Keith Lee. And
Hobbs,
you put Keith Lee and Shane Taylor Promotions to have the big man on that, to have another big man on that side. I'm excited about the possibilities, man.
Hobbs had surgery on his knee.
He's probably out till sometime next year.
Patella tendon repair. It wasn't ACL, MCL, anything like that. It was a torn patella tendon.
How long does that typically take to heal after surgery?
Well, he started doing physical therapy 3 weeks out. Let me see. Athlete return from torn patella. Oh, we got a little Google AI. May need up to a year to reach their goals, but that's athletes. Wrestlers, it could be a shorter time frame, but yeah, it's still, he's not going to be, I don't think he's close. So yeah, 8 to 12 months.
Yeah, 12 months. So
pro wrestling, it could be slightly lesser.
So if he went out in April, it probably best case scenario.
It was late April. It was May 1st, actually.
Okay, I think. Look, I'm just saying, best case scenario would be World's End.
Yeah.
And we're probably more looking to Revolution.
Well, if you could build the group and maybe add a piece and then add Hobbs down the line, if you could keep up the momentum of the group, then that would be a more of a possibility.
I think there's plenty for a group like that to do in AEW.
But
and I would be very excited to see how that worked.
ACLs put football players on the shelf for a year, but ACLs wrestlers have come back in 7 months from ACLs, and this is a patella tendon. So, if he was already rehabbing 3 weeks out, World's End, end of the year. Yeah, you could maybe see end of the year. And maybe he doesn't do any work yet, but just appears.
Yeah, maybe. So. Daryl's saying patellas are worse than an ACL.
Well, then it's going to have to be.
I know Daryl has a history of knee issues, so I think he would know.
Yeah, it's going to have to be non-contact role then, but you could still add him.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, Leo Rush.
Let Leo Rush Bobby Lashley connection. I don't know if they want to do anything with that again, but
it was a good pairing when it lasted.
That could be fun, dude. There's a lot of. I didn't really start putting all these puzzle pieces together till everybody started giving up all these great ideas, in the chat. But I'm the AEW has to be where they go. They can't go anywhere else.
I mean, you could combo what Mark Cho said with Frantic World. If you can build up the Hurt Business enough where he returns as a mystery guy for the Hurt Business, then if you can build them up enough, get a piece or something, another piece that is already with the company, which could be Leo Rush. And it could work as long as you can put the pieces together to build these guys up as a credible source to where they are in position to have a feud with the Elite come next spring. That's going to be the key. But hopefully that's what they do.
I'm excited. I'm excited about the possibilities. Free agency and pro wrestling, honestly, one of my favorite things. Mm-hmm. It's always very exciting to talk about and predict what might happen and where somebody's going to go, what they're going to do when they get there. I just find that very, very fun.
Especially this year with all the contracts that are up this year. It's been insane. Next up, we got MJF next. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. Next up, my Lord. On free TV, we get an hour-long match. 59 minutes and 58 seconds, actually, between MJF. It was probably a little hair below that. Well, no, it was an hour time limit. So, yeah, it was 59. It was 59.58. MJF with the oxygen. That's fitting considering who he is. He's a scumbag. What'd you think of this hour-long epic between him and Will Ospreay, which I think Meltzer gave 5.75? My buddy John Canton, who does not hand out 5 stars like candy, gave it 5 stars. Do you believe it was worthy of 5 stars in your book, Matt?
Yeah, I loved it. Honestly, it was to me, it was my favorite part of the show. Don't get me wrong, I liked Swerve and Okada in the main event as well, and I thought Mercedes and Nyla delivered a great match. But like my favorite part of that show was that match, and I was predicting everybody that knows me knows that I was predicting a time limit draw.
Yep.
And I was only predicting them to go 30 minutes because that's what Cole and MJF did last year. So when they went an hour, I was shocked, and that explained a lot to me why they only had 3 matches announced for the show. But it makes a lot more sense for the story that they're trying to tell, because now Will can win a championship in Wembley, and he's finally going to hit the Tiger Driver again.
Oh,
he's gonna hit that Tiger Driver on MJF, and he's gonna win the title back, and London's gonna go crazy. And while MJF's standing there in the ring pissy after the match, Daniel Garcia's music's gonna hit. He's gonna return and chase off MJF, and they're gonna set that match up for All Out 2 weeks later in Chicago. So it's the perfect 1-2 punch for the two current rivalries MJF is under. Will gets his moment. Garcia will get a big moment 2 weeks later. It's great. It's freaking great, man.
Who do we got for Swerve at Wembley?
Oh, it's Danielson, dude.
Oh, that's right. I was trying to think. I knew it, but it's been a long week. I've been really trying to catch up on wrestling today because it's been so much shit going on with my other jobs that it's having a hard time catching up. But that's right, Danielson. Boy, man, I want Danielson to win. I don't know if they could take it off of Swerve, but maybe.
I think Danielson wins.
Just because this is his last ride, and
I think he wins, and I think he will come out on Dynamite after All In and say
retire.
No, I think he's going to say my full-time career ends when I drop this title, and I think he drops it back to Swerve a month later at WrestleDream in Washington. Because it's going to be the two hometown boys in the main event. Swerve gets his rematch. Swerve beats Danielson at WrestleDream, 2-time champion. Danielson, ends his full-time run, and hopefully we still see the man, 5 or 6 matches a year, started in 2025. Fingers
when he said that he was only going to have 1 more year as a full-time guy, he was out for some of that time as well. I wouldn't be surprised, injury prevention barring, I wouldn't be surprised if Danielson holds that belt for a year, to be honest with you.
I don't see that happening.
I'm not going to be, I am not going to be surprised if I will not be surprised.
To me, that's him breaking his promise to his daughter.
Yeah, but he also had time off.
He doesn't seem like the type of person that's going to do that.
Is it really breaking a promise if you were gone for some of that time? I don't know.
Yeah, I still think it is.
Also from Dynamite, Mariah May doing a great Timeless Tony Storm impression. That was very good.
Well, it was so good that the crowd was confused.
I know.
Through the first part of the segment because they thought it was Tony Storm.
Yeah.
They really didn't. Like, the crowd was completely confused.
Done up like that. I'm looking at a screenshot right now. Done up like that in color. She completely looks like Tony Storm. It's insane. That has been probably one of the best feuds going today. And then another funny thing to mention about Dynamite: Okada's smitten with Mercedes Moné. He was sweating.
Dude, Okada's so fucking funny, dude.
He is nailing it, dude.
Them allowing him to show off his comedic side
to his
personality as a heel has been awesome. And you can tell how much fun he's having. And then there's these people like, they're ruining Okada. If you go back and you watch Okada with the Young Bucks on Being the Elite, this is who Okada is in real life.
Yeah.
Like, anytime Okada would get together with the Bucks, he would steal like Nick's gear and wear it backstage. And he would just do silly shit. He's a funny dude. And like in real life, he's genuinely just a comedic, funny guy. And they're letting him, display his personality. I think it's tremendous.
I really wish.
I'm glad the dude got the bag and he's having a hell of a fun time in AEW right now.
I really wish Nakamura would get out of WWE and kind of join the Elite, or pull Okada out of the Elite eventually, or something like that, and just see those two either go at it or team up would be amazing.
Honestly, I would like to see Nakamura back in New Japan. I think if you're talking about where he's needed, more than anything else, I think New Japan would greatly benefit from having Shinsuke Nakamura back in their ranks.
I would have thought in the Triple H era, he treated him well in NXT. I saw probably the greatest match my two eyes have seen in person ever. I don't know if it's ever going to get topped. Maybe if I go finally see an Ospreay match somewhere. But Nakamura, Sami Zayn in Dallas, WrestleMania 32 weekend. And so I thought maybe the future would be bright with Nakamura with Triple H at the helm. I just don't know what's going on right there. Moving on to a pay-per-view that occurred this past Saturday for a company that may be coming back a little bit. I don't know. It's a matter of opinion. I've heard a few friends that are stating it's been a good product. I hear a few that have said it's just okay. But TNA is still around, and Slammiversary occurred this past Saturday. And there he is right there. He's here to show the world that he is now your world champion. Were you under the impression when Joe Hendry got added to this match that he was going to win it and they were going to capitalize on this whole wild newfound fame for Joe Hendry?
I thought he had a chance until the press conference last week.
Okay, what happened there?
At the press conference, a fan asked Hendry once he won the world championship what his dream opponent was. And he said, when I win the world championship at Slammiversary on Sunday, I'm going to get on the microphone and call out John Cena. And the second he said that, I'm like, he ain't winning the belt, because there ain't no way that's what TNA would do with Joe Hendry after winning the title on Saturday.
I guarantee you.
The second he said that, I'm like, nope, he ain't winning.
I guarantee you there's going to be a Joe Hendry John Cena match, though.
I don't think so.
At some point. When's his contract up?
According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, not anytime soon.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Mike Bailey, your new TNA X Division champion, winning it for, I believe, the fourth time? ? Bear with me 2 seconds. Impact. Oh, it's only his second time. God, I thought he's had that title more. Maybe it's because that first time was like a long reign.
His first reign was pretty long.
Yeah. So Speedball, great, goddamn good wrestler. Congrats on that. Jordan Grace retained against Ash versus Ash versus Elegance. That'd be a better name, actually. PCO wins the Digital Media Championship by defeating AJ Francis. The ABC defeated the System to retain or to earn the tag team championships. That's got to be at least a third time for ABC, don't you think?
I think it's their third time, but I'm not 100% sure. It's at least their second.
Were you? I was gone. I had a prior engagement, but what were your thoughts on Slammiversary as a whole? What were your favorite matches?
I was disappointed in the show, to be honest. And I unfortunately I have to blame Jordan Grace for that. Going into the show last week, Jordan Grace did an interview with Sports Illustrated, to which he said, and I have the quote here, "The surprises are going to be even bigger than people realize. TNA and NXT do surprises better than any other promotion. I don't think anyone can argue that. If you're tired of accidentally reading spoilers, watch Slammiversary. Our goal is to make fans fall back in love with wrestling." So after I heard that, I'm like, all right.
People are going to
they are loading this show with surprises. We might get AJ Styles. Well, he hasn't been on WWE programming since he lost to Cody. You know, like my mind's going wild with all these possibilities of what they're going to do. Beyond Earl freaking Hebner coming out for the stupid finish of the overbooked X Division title match.
TNA overbooking something.
Dude,
no.
I hated the finish.
No way.
I hated it.
No way.
I was left disappointed because I went in with a very high expectation after that interview. And I feel like TNA didn't deliver. And I know Grace is trying to use the travel issues that weekend on that, but I'm not buying it. I think she I think she falsely hyped up the show, and she didn't realize that it wasn't going to deliver like she thought it was going to. And honestly, if you don't know what you're talking about going into these interviews, please don't hype up shows like that and set unrealistic expectations in fans' minds going into that show. Because I think I probably would have enjoyed the show a lot more overall had I not been anxiously waiting and thinking about what type of surprises we were going to see on that show that night. And that's very disappointing because that's not fair to the talent that busted their ass that night. And I wouldn't have had any of those expectations if it wasn't for her interview. So I wish wrestlers would be more careful with their wording and such going into the big events like this and not set unrealistic expectations that end up disappointing their fan base. So,
and of course, in the main event, shock and awe, as Moose is the second guy to be eliminated. So you're like, oh, Joe Hendry. No, he got eliminated like literally a minute later.
Yeah, and the Josh Alexander heel turn.
The old Dick Kick City there.
That felt like something Vince Russo would have booked. It really did.
Bro. Come on, bro. I didn't kill WCW, bro.
I feel like they know Alexander's leaving next year. So they're just gonna turn him heel and try to, ruin him on the rest of his deal.
Have him reunite with Ethan Page.
I don't know where he's going. I mean, he might go to WWE. Like, I don't know.
Good to see Nemeth on top, though. I don't hate that at all. So
I think it's a couple months too late. To be perfectly honest, I think they should have crowned Nemeth months ago. I'm glad that it seems like they're finally steering away from the system because my God, that stable sucks. Well, and I think it was definitely a step in the right direction to move away
outside of the tag belts
dominating.
Outside of the women's tag belts, they lost all the gold.
Yeah, which thank God, that was needed. It was needed. That was the right call, by them. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like they should have put the title on Nemeth months ago. I worry for Nemeth's fan reaction in the coming months because I think there's going to be a contingent of Joe Hendry fans that are going to make Nick Nemeth public enemy number one, and it's not his fault. Like no. He didn't creatively book himself to win the TNA World Championship. This is on TNA Creative, so I think he's going to have a good reign, and I think he can help TNA as the champion long term. But I just hope the fans don't rebel against him. Because they wanted a different finish from Saturday.
Yeah. The key difference is, well, I'm guessing the next month is probably taped in front of a similar crowd or that same venue, right?
They tape like 2 weeks of TV on Sunday. So
but probably not as many people
in front of that.
But a little bigger
Montreal crowd.
But a little bigger than normal crowd still for TV. So yeah, you could you might be seeing some things there. I don't know. It depends. If they keep Joe Hendry out of the discussion and have him feud with
it feels like he's going to have to feud with Alexander. Because I mean that's basically what they set up. You can't immediately shift to Joe Hendry and Nick.
No,
because that would end up hurting both. To me, that ends up hurting both guys.
Man, you know what I would love to see. Now I don't know if that's going to be for the title, but man, somewhere down the line, I want to see Santana and Nemeth go at it. I think that'd be a damn good match. He got a win against Jake something in the pay-per-view. I think he's undefeated, isn't he? Since he came back.
No, he's lost a couple times.
Oh, I say okay. That'd be a fun one to see. Obviously, they'll probably give Moose a rematch. And of course, Josh Alexander is a heel. That might elevate him too. But unless Joe Hendry beats him, that's the thing. Yeah. Well, who's going to win that feud? Are they going to put Joe Hendry over?
It's got to be Hendry.
Well, you got to if you think if Alexander's leaving next year.
Yeah.
Our final news item of the evening, we have a confirmation, finally, of New Japan Pro Wrestling's Hikuuleo. He has agreed to a deal with WWE. Finished up with New Japan a month ago. And he was widely expected to join his brothers Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa. Tonga Loa, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know why WWE confused me with all that, but anyways. So he has confirmed. Now, is the assumption that he's going to join the bad guys, or is he going to join the good guys?
I mean, we don't know. I mean, Roman's going to need some help.
Yeah.
when he comes back, likely at SummerSlam. So I don't know. Like, is Jacob Fatu a double agent for Roman, and Hikuuleo takes Jacob Fatu's spot, or is Hikuuleo going to come in and be, like Roman's, big man heavy? Like, I don't know. I don't know what the plan is. But I'm excited about seeing where it's going to go.
Is Jimmy legit hurt?
Yeah, Jimmy. They wrote him off because he was hurt. I don't know when he's coming back.
Man, if he was not hurt,
I'm hoping he'll be back in time for War Games.
That'd have been a great surprise partner for Cody on Friday, but yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. Off air. He wants to share it off air, so it must be top secret. But yeah, it'll be
you know my number, my DM, my friend. Reach out, hit me up.
Slide into those DMs. 1 inch.
Or send me a text, either or.
So it'll be interesting. Of course, Bloodline continuing to refresh itself and become a good story. Now, once Heyman and Roman come back, it's going to be up to another gear again. So it's going to be good. And SummerSlam is just a little over a week away. Speaking of SummerSlam, let's look ahead to Monday Night Raw, the second to last Raw before SummerSlam, and AEW Dynamite this week. Blood and Guts, of course, Team AEW against the Elite.
I wish I could say I was excited.
I'm guessing you're not excited
for me, man.
I was gonna say you're not excited because the Acclaimed, huh?
Them being in this match ruined it for me. Honestly, you know how simple it would have been? Like, you don't even need to put FTR in there, because clearly Dax is banged up, and they're bringing him back slow and steady, and I'm okay with that. You don't want a chance to re-aggravate an injury by putting him in a cage. But you know who the easiest two people could have been to be put in this match? Think about it. It makes perfect sense once I say it, but tell me if you can tell me. Look at the other three members in the match, and tell me who the other two people would make the most sense.
Oh, for Team AEW, who's been there since the beginning.
It's Mark, it's Swerve, and it's Darby Allin. Who makes sense to fill that team? Based on those three men.
Drawing a blank.
It's the conglomeration, man.
Kyle O'Reilly and
Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy, yeah.
That would have made the most sense. And if you wanted to do something that still would have explained why it's Team AEW, you throw in Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli. Yeah, either or of those combinations, I would be way more excited for this match. I'm not excited for this match at all because the Acclaimed are involved.
Yeah, like, they're only involved.
This is the first time we're having a blood and guts match where I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah, and like, they're only involved.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna enjoy it, but I'm not excited about it, man. I'm not an Acclaimed fan, and I know they tried to shift it on Collision on Saturday. They had Billy Gunn yelling at Max and Anthony, like, you gotta be take this more serious. This isn't a joke. And I'm like, yeah, a little too late to be doing this now, days before the freaking cage match. So,
but I mean, I know you like Bowens, so it's really 4 out of 5.
I like Bowens a lot.
Yeah,
but it's the stink of Max Caster with him that I don't approve of. And if Bowens is a singles act, I would not see as somebody who should have been in Blood and Guts. He doesn't fit into that equation for me.
As MK just said, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Sheeta, that's going to be a damn good match.
Dude, yes.
Jericho and Suzuki for the FTW Championship. As much as I would love Suzuki to take it off of Jericho, My assumption is in the end, Hook's going to take it off Jericho and retire the title.
Dare wants me to check the DMs.
Check your DMs. He's sliding in some eggplant emojis. The debut of the Glamour, Mariah May, on Wednesday, as well as we're going to hear from new international champion MJF. And then moving on to Monday Night Raw tonight, very limited on the preview. CM Punk returns. Woods, Otis, and Tozawa take on the Final Testament, and Lyra Valkyria takes on Sonya Deville. And I don't know if let's see here if old Sean has updated it, because usually this time we still have a lot to talk about.
I got the deets from Daryl. I like it. I'm not gonna repeat it, but I like it.
Dumbass didn't DM me.
I like where things are going with the Bloodline story.
Holy cow. Okay, I'm looking at the Raw plans on Fightful. Spoiler. I'm not even gonna look. I'm not looking any further down. I see all these spoilers. I'm gonna get myself excited for Raw.
Well, the problem is half the time he says spoilers, I go down and see the spoiler segment or match, and I'm like, why is this named a spoiler?
It's probably because it's not on the page.
And I don't care if it's not fun. To me, when I hear the word spoiler, I immediately my interest is immediately piqued, and then I go down. I'm like, and it's like,
womp, womp.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, come on, man.
Well, for a change, we are done. Let's give you a couple of minutes back in your day to get ready for Monday Night Raw. As always, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for everybody in the chat. Really appreciate you guys. We'll get Twitter figured out again eventually soon, hopefully. Elon Musk can still eat a dick and a disc. I mean, if it's a disc of dicks, why not?
Why not?
For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Lost to the Midcard. Enjoy wrestling. Don't be a tribalistic bitch. And we'll be back next week with our SummerSlam preview show. Have a good week.
Can't believe SummerSlam's next weekend already. That's wild.
Summerfest!
Take care, peeps.
Holla!